Sir Jim Ratcliffe changes his stance with Michael Carrick before manunited decision made. Michael Carrick has been the interim manager at Manchester United since January, and the former midfielder has spoken about his relationship with co-owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Manchester United co-owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe seems to have altered his stance towards Michael Carrick compared to previous United managers under his ownership. Carrick has revealed chats between the pair ahead of the summer. The ex-United midfielder returned to Old Trafford on an interim basis back in January. His appointment has triggered an improvement in United's form, prompting demands for him to secure the role permanently in the summer. That final verdict will be partly down to Ratcliffe, with Carrick the third manager in post since his takeover of the club in early 2024. Much could hinge on the relationship between the two. Speaking ahead of the Premier League fixture against Brentford, Carrick offered an insight into that. He came in. "We had a chat. We had a cup of tea," he said. "Casual chat, to be honest. It was nice to see him showing his support, obviously. That was it. It was quite informal, but it was nice to see him. I think as a football club we're hugely connected all the way through." It indicates that Ratcliffe's relationship with Carrick differs somewhat from those with United's to preceding managers. Speaking to Dutch outlet AD during the summer, Erik ten Hag discussed his own dynamic with Ratcliffe, particularly amid doubts surrounding his position in the summer of 2024. "The communication did fall away, yes," he said. "But I just celebrated holidays with my loved ones, and I let things come to me. I have no influence on that anyway." Reflecting on a discussion that occurred in Ibiza, "They didn't say, 'We still want to go on,' but 'We want to go on,'" he said. The argument they gave was in a short summary: "We looked at everything and put it next to each other, but we think we already have the best manager in-house." Then I said, "Then we have to discuss a number of things about how we interact with each other and work together." We had a good, honest, but also confrontational conversation about that, as it should be at the top. Ten Hag departed the club merely months afterwards, following a string of poor results. He was succeeded by Ruben Amorim. Ratcliffe had previously opened up about his connection with Amorim, with the Portuguese manager unafraid to speak bluntly to the United co-owner. "I really like Ruben," he told the Times in March last year. "Every time I go to the training ground, I sit down and have a cup of coffee with him and tell him where it's going wrong. And he tells me to F*** off. I like him. Give the guy a break." It appears the rapport with Carrick is considerably warmer, which could bode well for the former midfielder. Nonetheless, doubt continues to surround Carrick's position at the club beyond the conclusion of the current campaign. It will ultimately fall to Ratcliffe and the wider United hierarchy to reach a verdict as they set their sights on the 2026-27 season. The Manchester United icon has exceeded expectations far beyond what even his biggest supporters could have imagined since assuming control of the first team on a temporary basis in January. The 44-year-old succeeded Ruben Amorim at the beginning of the year on an interim arrangement while the club was struggling. He has guided them to a top 4 place in the Premier League, with just 4 fixtures remaining and Champions League qualification becoming increasingly likely. Despite his success in such a brief time frame, Carrick's future at Old Trafford remains uncertain, given United co-owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe has yet to offer him the position on a permanent basis. It is widely known that club hierarchy have begun their hunt for a new long-term manager, with Carrick also under consideration. Now, the Manchester Evening News brings you 2 of the biggest news stories surrounding United and their managerial search. United Chief Executive Omar Arada and Director of Football Jason Wilcox are currently assessing candidates for the managerial role. The Athletic reports that the duo are spearheading the search for the new United manager and will present their recommendation to Sir Jim at the end of this campaign. It is understood that background checks are currently being carried out on the various candidates, amid growing speculation over whether Carrick will stay on beyond this season. Carrick, who is among the contenders, met with Ratcliffe during the United co-owner's visit to Carrington last week, as the process to determine his future continues. Reflecting on the visit, Carrick said, "He came in, we had a chat, we had a cup of tea. A casual chat, to be honest. It was nice to see him showing his support, obviously. That was it. It was quite informal, but it was nice to see him." Former United star Jesse Lingard believes the club should hand Carrick the permanent head coach position at the end of this season. Lingard, currently plying his trade with Corinthians in Brazil, made 55 appearances alongside Carrick for United, before the latter moved into coaching during Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's time in charge. Lingard has since told BBC Sport that Carrick's remarkable turnaround of the team's fortunes makes him the standout person for the job. The former England international said, "I think they have come on leaps and bounds. Obviously, it can be difficult with different managers coming in and having different ideas and different personnel. But I think now they are really on the right track with Michael. I know him from my Man United days. I know how he operates, and the lads are doing really well under him." "I think so," Lingard replied, when asked if Carrick should get the job permanently. "He has the Man United DNA inside of him. He knows the ins and outs of the club. They are on the right track at the moment. The lads have taken to him really well. They are winning a lot of games. They will probably get Champions League this season, which is amazing. So I think so, 100%.